Hello, this is Roland, Cisco Switzerland. Today I want to give you an update on the current features and functionalities of Microsoft Teams Room software on a Cisco device and RoomOS software on a Cisco device. So first of all, let's have a look at the setup. Here we have Desk Pro version 1, first generation. It is in RoomOS mode and it has a Navigator connected, which is not a supported setup, to mention that, but I basically wanted to do this because I want to show the experience on the device as well as on the Navigator, so these two things. Then we have on the other side, just in time it got a little dark, on the other side we have the Desk Pro second generation with the MTR software installed. Also here I have a Navigator connected. In this case it is supported, so the Navigator can connect to the Desk Pro second generation, and I basically would like to go through a few setups. So first of all, let's see the sharing out of meeting. So we can like swipe up here basically and go to the sharing out of a call. And we can do something similar here, share. So in both cases the sharing is coming from the RoomOS operating system, so it's 4K. If you have multiple screens connected, you can do multiple screens are supported. Also in 4K you can have two screens connected if you have two different sources, like one source will be shown on one screen and the other source will be shown on the second screen. So this is true for both of the device types. So let's see what else we can do. So here we have the possibility to point and annotate. So in a RoomOS mode, so we can like talk about a certain room we would like to mark. Like when we do a presentation, for example, that can be very helpful. And here we do not have this in the MTR mode, but we can also remote control a Windows device, for example. If we have a Windows PC connected, we could remote control that there. Let's have a look on how it looks with joining a meeting. So we would like to join Teams meeting. That's the one I have prepared here. So I'll go ahead and find the Teams meeting, the one at the bottom here, say join, and we press the mute button just to make sure it is joining the Teams meeting, and I'm like let in and I'm there. Very good. So we have two participants, Karian and Baby Yoda and this little guy here, and let's go to Teams meeting at the bottom. We can also join via basically a single click. Let's have a look at the layout options we have available. So in the RoomOS device we have the possibility to basically choose amongst the various layouts. We can have a look at the grid layout. We can choose the prominent layout. So let's make Baby Yoda the active speaker. He's the most interesting of them all. So we can have the this setup, the layout setup. We can also change to focus. So basically the person who is talking is the one which is in focus only and the others disappear. We have the overlay options, we have the stack option, and we have the large gallery. So that's basically the Microsoft Teams provided view. There you also have yourself in the view. So I'm this guy here, so there will be me on the top left and the other participants here as well. We also have the option to hide participants without video, also very neat. Okay, so we had the various layouts on this device. Let's have a look at the Microsoft Teams Room device. So we also have the full display is used here with people. And then we have down here a few options. We have front row, and we have the chat we can enable. A front row view, so basically if content is being shared, it will be shown here, and as long as there's no content shared, it's shown here. So we have also the chat on the right hand side, so basically we have the full meeting experience. But when I go back to gallery, I can also show the chat on the right hand side as well. So chat is something which is in RoomOS mode not shown. In Teams mode this is shown. If we go to front row, without content shared, it doesn't make that much sense, but the possibility is there. Okay, let's go back to gallery and remove the chat. So I think then it's a good experience to have like the people participating shown in the best possible view. People participants are shown right away here on the display, and we had to go here to see participants to show the same thing. Let's see if we have emojis. They can be shown here as well. They show up on the screen of the app participants. They are not showing up here. Let's have a look what happens if something is being shared. Okay, so basically receiving the share. So let's do this. So we are sharing, and we are seeing the share on the Cisco RoomOS device as well on the Microsoft Teams Room device. We have again a few layout options here. We can have the share showing like side by side. We can have it floating, so the participants or the active speaker basically is then on top. We can have it stacked. And if we have it side by side, we can also go through additional options. We can basically have the different views also on the device on top of what we had previously. What we can also do now, there's like a participant not showing his video anymore. We can do hide the participant, and then we have this screen like optimized. There we go, of the two participants only, or we can also we can have a look at the view which is provided by Microsoft. Let's see how receiving the share on the MTR device looks like. So we have the content here and the other participants on the right hand side. We have the different layouts available here. We can go to front row, and again the chat is here on the right hand side. Then we can focus on content, so the other participants are not visible anymore. We can still show the chat if we want to, disable that. Front row and the gallery view, where we can see the people on the right hand side, the content big, or like only the participants and not the content. What I miss a bit is like to disable the person who has his camera turned off. Yeah, but otherwise quite neat views. So we have everything here as well. So let's see what happens when we share content here. So I'll share the screen in call here. There we go. And basically I have the option for AirPlay, Miracast or Webex Share. It all works in the RoomOS mode. And again here I can control the Windows connected device, or I can also annotate on the content. So I can go ahead and, as previously, let's see if I can show it here. I can mark something and it will be shown on the MTR device as well, or I can like permanently do this and it will shown here as well. There we go. So we have this continuously, and the receiving end here looks exactly the same as before. the sending part is the one we have on the RoomOS device. Okay, let's stop the sharing here. So we've seen the sharing on the RoomOS device. Let's do the same on the Teams device. Then I can go ahead and share here as well. On the receiving end, same as before. On the sharing end, we see the participants underneath in the view of the front row. Also here I can toggle through the various options to the gallery again, slightly different, focus on content, or front row. Front row during content sharing, I think the pictures are slightly bigger, so I think it makes actually a lot of sense. I can also like just remove the chat and show the raised hands here, or I can also show the chat on one side and the raised hands on the other side, so I have the whole meeting I'm showing on the device. Regarding meeting controls, we have the options, of course, to mute everyone, which makes sense. We can pin people. We have like the full meeting control here on the MTR device. Let's see what else we have. We can report a problem, turn off remote control, turn off incoming videos, show captions. We have all these options here on the MTR device. On the RoomOS device, we have the possibility to show the participants the layouts, turn the camera on and off, and that's basically it. We'll see if somebody is in the lobby. This we'll see. We get notified, but we can't let somebody into the lobby. We'll also see if we have PowerPoint Live enabled from a user, and we'll also see that content there too. So also PowerPoint Live is actually working. Let's have a look at the whiteboarding. I'll do whiteboarding on the RoomOS device. It loads quickly. There we go, and I can go ahead and start drawing something here. I have not shared yet, but I can also share then the whiteboard into the call. Other people will see the whiteboard I'm drawing, so that's great. And then I can also continue with the whiteboard with different colors. So I see that it's on the Teams end, it is as a content being shared. If I start a whiteboard as a host, there we go, then the whiteboard is loading, and I also see the result. It's actually not showing on the RoomOS device. It is shown on the top left. Live content is being shared, and you can see it with the Microsoft Teams client. But with the MTR device, I can actually join here. I can go ahead and also, as with the other one, can continue working on the device here as well. So I have the interactive whiteboard also on the MTR device, whereas with the RoomOS device I don't have interactive whiteboarding. I only have the whiteboarding which I generate locally, but I can share it in the call and everybody can see it. Here the RoomOS devices can't see it. That was the Microsoft Teams meeting with the RoomOS device and the Microsoft Teams Room device. Let's have a look on how the Zoom meeting looks like. I go ahead and say join the Zoom meeting from the RoomOS device. I can also do it on the device here. Let's make sure that we mute. We have the native Zoom interface here. Let's have a look on how the Zoom experience is on the MTR device. There we go. So we are joining the Zoom meeting via zip. So you've seen the MTR device is going down to the RoomOS operating system and is joining the meeting via zip. So let's have a look at the options we have on the two devices. So here we have the, let's say, full-blown Zoom experience with all you can imagine. We can share, we can invite additional people, we can change the volume, the video, so even remote camera control is available here. On the Zoom experience on the MTR device, we can still share content. We do have host options. We can see the participants here as well. So this is all there. It's just in a different user interface. So let's have a look at the layouts. So we can change the layout also here. Change the layout. There we go. It just takes a moment to get there, but then it like allows to go through the various layouts back into the multi-speaker view, and here we have the view, the gallery view we're looking at the moment. We have the thumbnail, we have the multi-speaker, and let's go back to the gallery. We can even show like show non-video participants or hide self-view, which we actually want to do, and then we have the same view as we have on the other device. Quality-wise, it looks very similar. It looks good. I like the quality we have in this call. So I want to share the desktop, which in this case would be my workspace designer I use to share. It's a bit bright. My face is not that good anymore, but we can see that we do have the same experience. We can also change the view again. We can do like multi-speaker, so it's the people on the side. We have a thumbnail view. We have a gallery where the content is like part of the gallery as well, quite nice. And the active speaker only, but I think the thumbnail and share or multi-speaker option is like probably the best of it all. Okay, so we have these options here. Then when it comes to the shared content, we have the various layouts we can select directly. We can do like a floating window. We can also like then choose where to put the people. We can do side by side, and also here we have the option to hide participants with no video. So we have it separated actually. We have the content layout, which is showing like where the content is compared to the video stream. We have that separated from the video layout, so we can then still go through the various video layouts if we would like to, separately from what we have seen earlier. So, and then it will also like stick to this, so, but then I like go through these different views. Okay, so we received the share. Let's see if we can send sharing. So we do the device share and then share in call. Previously it didn't work because I didn't have the permission to share in the call, but I see here that I can share. I can also then continue or stop sharing. I also have the view again. I can do like thumbnail share, and for the receiving end on the MTR device it is the same thing. So sharing works. I don't have the possibility to do any annotation though, as far as I know. Then let's say stop sharing, and on this device I can also share content. By the way, like sharing is with like Miracast, AirPlay, Cable, Webex Share. All of the options are supported. I just shared here as well, and here I realize I do have the option to annotate, or again to like control my laptop from the screen. That's quite nice. And then I'll also receive this, so I can share from a RoomOS device as well as from an MTR device in a Zoom meeting. We had the receiving a share, sending a share, and we also have the option for whiteboarding. Let's have a look at this. So we create a new whiteboard. A new whiteboard is being shared from the laptop. I can then, let's see if I can start drawing here. I can start drawing here on the whiteboard. There we go. I can also contribute on this device. Let's change the color. There we go. So I can see the whiteboard on the RoomOS device and can contribute to it, and I can just see the result on the MTR device. So I can see that as well. I can also share a new whiteboard myself. That would also be an interesting option. I'll try that later on. Yeah, let's see what happens when I share a new whiteboard into the meeting from the MTR device. So that's also cool. So we have the MTR based, the RoomOS based MTR device, which can actually share a whiteboard, which is very fast, into the Zoom call. There we go. But I can't contribute here in any way. But it's kind of nice. I can still do this from the MTR device. Can see the result on the Zoom level, but can't contribute. Stop sharing. Let's see what happens when I do a reaction, for example. So I would like to react here. I would like to say, okay, this is amazing. Then I can see this also showing up on the MTR device. This one here. So with hearts, it even goes with an effect on both devices. Let's see what happens if I send a chat message. Okay, then I see the chat message appearing on the Zoom device, but not on the MTR device, on the native Zoom experience, but not on the MTR device. So that was joining a Zoom meeting from the RoomOS device and the various options I have. By the way, I can also here have multiple screens. Zoom meetings support like up to dual screens in RoomOS as well in the MTR world. Let's join the Google Meet meeting. So there will be a button here to push on the RoomOS device. Then there we go. And on the Microsoft Teams Room device, it will also going to be a button, but at this point in time we have to still dial in Ad-Hoc. So we joined a Google Meet meeting with the RoomOS device and the Microsoft Teams Room device. Both are working well, both are showing the names. Let's see, we don't have a list of participants. This is something we don't have in neither of the platforms. It's basically 2 times the same thing. It's both WebRTC dial-in on the RoomOS device as well as on the MTR device. So in both cases we can see the participants. They're all there. There is no specific list. There we go. The quality is actually, I would say it's quite nice. In terms of layout control, it's basically 0. There's no layout control on neither of the two. In terms of meeting control, we can mute and unmute ourselves, but that's basically it. We can turn on and off the camera, we can turn on and off the self view, we can receive share. So let's share some content into the meeting. There we go. So we have the content shared into the meeting. Same as before, on the right hand side we have the participants and then we content on the left, but in terms of options there is no layout options. Same here, so we're sharing the screen into the meeting and that's it. So we have received the share. Now we can see if we can share into the meeting. So we have the content we receive from the laptop here. We can share this into the meeting. We have exactly the same layout, so no change here, as on the receiving end as well. Do the same just for fun with the Desk Pro G2 in MTR mode. Also here we can share content into the call, and that works quite well. And actually the resolution, everything is also quite good. Okay, let's say stop sharing. We can also do preview. So when you would like to still share some content on the screen only and not immediately share it into the call, but then the video is not shown anymore here. So that's a little bit of a shame. So a whiteboard, let's see if that works, just to try. And then we start painting a whiteboard, but I can't share it into the call. Okay, good. Yeah, makes sense. Then we have the number of screens is also a point in a Google Meet meeting. So it can be, one screen only, WebRTC based at this point in time. So it can't be dual screen in a Google Meet meeting. And in regards to chat, let's quickly see if we can send chat messages here. There we go. So we see chat messages coming in on both of the devices, so that's no change to earlier. Next meeting platform will be Webex meetings. I have also a single button to join, which will be this one here. Join, make sure we mute. There we go, joining immediately in. I invited some additional people here. It's just like dummy participants, but still I thought, yeah, let's give it a try and join the Webex meeting from here as well. There we go, and let this guy in as well. Basically it's the same thing. It is a native Webex meeting. We're dialing in here. We're using the RoomOS operating system underneath by just like pressing one button saying join the meeting, or we can also do ad hoc join. So let's see the different layouts we have maybe quickly. We have the stack view, we have the prominent view, we have the focus view. So what I also pure focus, I hide the participants without video. So focus back to grid. And these are the options we have, and the same is true here. So also on this device we can go to stack, to prominent, to focus. That's all possible. Okay, hide. We can also like show certain people on stage. Let's say when I would like to see Hans Muster on stage, then I can put this guy on stage, or I would like to see this guy as well. And then I can also change the sequence here, like this one goes away, and I have, even though he doesn't talk, I still have him on stage here as a main participant. That's quite nice. I can also add the active speaker on stage, so the person who spoke last is also going to be on stage there. So I remove, so therefore we are back in the grid view. Okay, so that's layouts. We have the reactions where we can send a reaction. That will be this one here. Meeting controls, yes, obviously you can expect from the native Webex meetings to have all meeting controls available: raise hands, smileys, record, add participants keypad. We can turn on AI assistant with catch me up during a meeting summary can be turned on. That's all possible here, so that's quite nice. And of course we have a list of the participants now, a lot of dummy participants, that's possible as well. So we have the screen shared on the devices. Yes, also here we have like multiple layouts available. We have side by side, prominent, so the people talking and the content floating, so you see the in full view, or focusing on the content only. I like prominent on a single screen device, that's quite cool, but I can also minimize the content. So for example, when I have people with their laptops in the meeting and I would like to focus on the participants, I can minimize the content as well. Let's maximize it again, and then it goes back up. Same is true for the MTR device. It's exactly the same experience, don't have to go through it. Maybe I do it from the MTR device because I guess it's a little bit more specific. I can share in call. There we go. I can share in call. The other side sees it, can see it. I can still control a Windows laptop from this screen, and I can do like an Annotate screenshot. Yes, I can do it here. Point and annotate content. So this is something which is not available. I can't annotate on the MTR live with the non-MTR device. That's not there. Let's see what happens when I do annotating from here. So let's share my content, and I want to point and annotate, because then I'm the one sharing, so I don't have to ask for anyone, but here I can still not interactively contribute to it. Okay, I can do a whiteboard. So let's see, when I start drawing here, I can actually do the whiteboarding here, and I can also contribute on this side, and I see where the people are, what they're drawing at the moment. So this is also whiteboarding in Webex, is working also on an MTR device. Number of screens, we have single screen here each. We can also have dual screen and triple screen. With triple screens there is 2 screens for video and 1 screen dedicated for content. Maybe quickly here again, so we have the possibility to join Webex meeting ad hoc. We have the possibility to join Microsoft Teams meeting ad hoc in the same way as I joined it now, a Google Meet meeting ad hoc and a Zoom meeting ad hoc with the native Zoom app. Then when I go over here, we have the possibility to also join a Webex meeting ad hoc. We can join Zoom meeting ad hoc, even like you can say as a host if the license allows, and I can join a Google Meet meeting ad hoc. Ad hoc only at this point in time, Google Meet, but that's something which will change. I mean, there's also the note taker here on the MTR device. A whiteboard can be started right away, so maybe I quickly show this as well. I can also do calls. You can call a number somewhere. You can call a phone number if you have prepared this in your background. We can join a meeting with a meeting ID, so it's also ad hoc here, and also we can take notes during the meeting as well. So that was it. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope it helped. I hope you did get an overview of what's possible and what not. Looking forward to see you in my next video. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.